So in the previous class, we have discussed about sales tax groups and item sales tax groups, how to group the codes according to sales tax groups and item sales tax groups, and how the logic of sales tax calculation works. So we understood that sales tax will be calculated depending upon the matching codes in the sales tax group and item sales tax group applied in a journal or in a document like purchase order or invoice. So we have seen the purchase side where we have created some vendor invoice journals and purchase orders and applied taxes, and we have seen sales tax receivable is being accounted, and also told you we can check that here in the tax module under the posted sales tax and inquiries. Here we have this option posted sales tax. If you click here, you can check the total taxes posted in this particular in total taxes posted completely. So yesterday only we have posted these many tax related transactions. So all of the since all of them are posted on the but accounts payable side, everything is in the sales tax receivable direction and everything is accounted here at the end. So today let us work out on sales tax posting or calculation of sales tax on the accounts receivable side on free text invoices and the sales orders, and we'll see how it will work. Okay, and we'll just go and create a free text invoice in accounts receivable. So it will be under invoices, all free text invoices. Create new free text invoice. Select the customer account for whom you are creating this invoice for. So select this customer. See, for customer also you can give default sales tax group, or for a customer group also you can give default sales tax group. So that would be defaulting here in the sales tax groups in the bottom. You have that option here. And item sales tax group you can select again. Then here actually you can select a main account, and then you can select sales tax group and item sales tax group. Suppose if you would have given a default sales tax group to this customer within the customer master, that sales tax group will be defaulting here. Not only that, but for the main accounts also we can give sales tax groups and item sales tax groups, but mostly they will give item sales tax groups for main account sometimes. So how to give that I'll show you now. I'll just take you to the main account page. So this is the main account page. So I'll just go with the 4-number filter. Let's say suppose this subscription revenue main account. I'll just edit this one. So in subscription revenue, I'll just go to this one, legal entity overrides. Go for the same reliance and add it here. Here I have the option of sales tax. So if you select this, you can go for company specific sales tax or default sales tax codes for this main account. So here I can give item sales tax group by default. Suppose if I give this all item sales tax group by default. You can also give sales tax direction if you want, if it is a on sales side or purchase side. Mostly the revenue accounts are from sales side only, right? So you can give the sales direction. So, but for main accounts, you could not decide if it is used at sales or if it is used at purchases. You can use it anywhere. But mostly the revenue account is used on the sales side, right? So you can select it. If you don't want, you can just click on that empty space and it will get cleared. You can also give a default sales tax group, but that's not mandatory. But main accounts for items, we generally give item sales tax group only. Okay. So suppose if you would give, you can also give this sales tax code if you want to, but sales tax code is not applicable since it will automatically be picked from this item sales tax group and combinations. So here I have given this item sales tax group and I click on OK. Clicked on OK and I'll save this one. Now I'll go back to the invoice that I'm creating. I'll refresh this. Here I'll select the same main account, like the subscription revenue account. Look at here. As soon as I select the main account, I see the item sales tax group appearing automatically by default. That's how. So for certain revenue accounts, if the sales tax is mandatory by like this much percentage, you can create a specific item sales tax group and you can assign it. So if it is only 5%, you can group all the 5% codes in this item sales tax group and give that group here for this main account as a default item sales tax group. Then you can now select the sales tax group. If you would have given it for the customer, it would have been defaulted. So automatically tax would have been accounted. But here, since we did not give it for the customer as default, so we can select one sales tax group. So I'm selecting this CSGST 5%. Okay. So, and I can give the unit price here as like 10,000. Save it. So the amount is 10,000. So how much tax is calculated? How you can check is you can check it here. On the top, you have the option of sales tax in free text invoice. If you click here, here on 10,000, CGST 2.5 and SGST 2.5 is calculated. You can see 250 and 250, total of 500. Tax is calculated, and you can see the direction of sales tax is sales tax payable clearly. So on the accounts receivable side, you will have sales tax payable, or on the sales side, because you will collect this tax from the customer and you are liable to pay it to the tax authority. Just click on OK, and then I can check the totals or I can directly post it. So if I click on totals, it will show you the total breakdown. Breakup, sorry, 10,500 tax totally, 10,500. Can close it, and I'll post this one. So if I post this one, now what is the voucher that will be posted? So I'll just click on OK. It will get posted. By the time it will get posted, let's decode the voucher that would get posted. So what will be the voucher that gets posted, including the taxes? So normally, what is the voucher for the accounts? I mean, free text invoice case. Which account will be debited? Which account will be credited? Customer or accounts receivable account will be debited. Revenue account will be credited always. Okay, suppose this is for 10,000 and this is also for 10,000. Now we have sales tax payable in between. So that sales tax payable account. So what happens to the payables? Will they be credited or debited? This sales tax payable will be credited for another 500 here. So for this 500, which account will be debited? So here, which means customer, we are accruing the customer for 10,500, which means customer have to pay us 10,000 plus another 500 tax to us. And that in the out of that we can account it as 10,000 only, we can account it as revenue, or we can mention it as revenue. But the other 500 that we collect from the customer, we will book it as a liability, since we are liable to repay it to the tax authority. So this is how the entry will be when we apply taxes on a customer invoice or a free text invoice. Accounts receivable account will be debited, revenue account will be credited, and sales tax payable account will be credited. So they might be asking an interview regarding these entries. So you have to better understand the logic. So this is the original entry when we get what we get when we post invoice. So when we apply sales tax payable also will be added as an addition in the voucher, and the amount will be credited and debited to the accounts receivable account here and credited to the sales tax payable account here. Let's go and check the voucher then. This is posted, as you can see. Free text invoice has been posted. Can go to this invoice here and then to invoice journal here, where you can check the voucher. From here you can go to the voucher. So you can see it here. Accounts receivable account is debited with 10,500. Revenue account is credited with 10,500. Sales tax payable account is credited with 500. So this is an asset account, accounts receivable. Subscription revenue is a revenue account which is credited, and sales tax payable is a liability. And there is a minute difference in the reporting currency. So that is being accounted to this account, penny difference in reporting currency, just 1 cent. Happens sometimes. So if you want to check the tax that is posted, you can see it here. Normally it's 500 tax posted, but you also have this option of posted sales tax for every voucher, where you can check the amount of tax in the voucher. If it is a very big voucher, like if it is having 10 to 15 lines, then you might be feeling confused to identify how much tax is being posted. That you can check here, posted sales tax. This is here. 5%, 2.5, 2.5, total of 250 plus 250. So that's how. Then you can go back. You can also check the same here in the posted sales tax in the tax module. Tax modules, inquiries and reports, posted sales tax. So here you can see it for the free text invoice that you have posted today. You can see the tax amount calculated here, 50 and 250. Okay. Then let's go back. Let's create one more free text invoice this time. So I'll just create new free text invoice. Selecting customer account, the same customer. Okay, I'll give a revenue account. Let's see which account we can give. So I'll give some other account like this one, business sales revenue account, suppose. Or let me select another one, this interest revenue account. Okay. Then the revenue amount is actually 50,000, and there is 12% interest applicable. 12%, sorry, tax is applicable. So I'll select the item sales tax group as all only. But what about the sales tax group? Which one I have to select? I'll select this one, CGST 12, CSGST 12%, where central GST 6% and state GST 6% is applicable. Okay. So then I can save it. So where can I check the sales tax, calculated sales tax for this invoice line? Or I can also add one more line actually. Suppose here I can select another account in the sense another revenue account like subscription revenue. For this, there is a default item sales tax group, right? So it is defaulting. I'll select here as 5% again. So for this, I'll select something like 20,000. So now there are two lines in this invoice, whereas where you are receiving two revenues and you are charging two different sales taxes for two different revenues. According to the guidelines, maybe applied one sales tax, one charge or one rate of tax on one line of revenue that you are receiving here, and another one you have given another rate of tax. So you can check it here in the sales tax. The total tax is applicable. So you can see them here. So on the 50,000 line, you have 6% of CGST and 6% of SGST, 50,000 and 50,000. Okay, on the 20,000 line, you have CGST 2.5 and SGST 2.5, 500 and 500. All of them are in the direction of sales tax payable. Total tax calculated is 7,000. 50,000 and 20,000 is the base amount, like total of 70,000, and the total tax calculated is 7,000. The percentages vary. Again, you can see depending on each line, the tax that you have applied or the tax codes that you have applied. Accordingly, the tax is being calculated. So that's up. Now we can see also the totals of the free text invoice. You can see subtotal amount is 70,000, sales tax is 7,000, total amount of invoice is 77,000. there is some cash discount applicable 0.5% for 60 days, which is 350. If at all the customer is paying it within 60 days, then you have your cash discount applicable for the customer. So that's okay. And now I can post it. Okay. So now let me know what will be the entry here in this particular free text invoice. So what about the accounts receivable account? How much it will be debited? So receivable will be debited with 77,000. There are two revenues, right? Okay. First one, interest revenue. Interest revenue is credited for 50,000, and subscription revenue is credited for 20,000. Okay. Tax payable is credited with how much? 7,000 it is only. Okay. This would be the entry that we are expecting. Accounts receivable should be debited with 77. Interest revenue 50 is credited, and the subscription revenue is created for 20. Sales tax payable account is created for 7,000. Okay. Let's go in. It is posted now, as you can see, and we can check it through here. Invoice journal. Select this and go for voucher here. You can see it clearly. Interest revenue created 50, subscription revenue created 20, accounts receivable account debited 77,000, and sales tax payable account created 7,000. Perfect. So if you get the entry right, you are doing good accounting, or you have done all the configurations correctly. And now my question is, so I have this account here, 2,90,000 account. From where this account is being taken into the voucher? Or let me put the question in this way. What made this account appear here in this voucher? So we have given the sales tax group and item sales tax group at the in the invoice, or at the line level in the invoice. Okay. So from the groups that we have given, codes are being matched. From the codes that are matched, tax is being calculated. Okay. So codes are linked with some two configurations. So I'll show you that. So sales tax code is linked with two important or main configurations. As you can see here, settlement period, ledger posting group. So clearly see ledger posting group. Ledger posting group is the area where we have configured the main accounts related to the taxes. The account for the sales tax receivable, account for the sales tax payable, and the settlement account. All the three accounts we have configured in the ledger posting group. See here, sales tax payable 2,90,000 account. From here, this account is being considered into the voucher from this page, from the ledger posting groups which we have created and linked to the sales tax code. So from there only the main account is being picked. Suppose if for one code you have given one ledger posting group, for other code you have given other ledger posting group, then it will pick different accounts into the voucher. Since for every group, every code that we have given, it is the same group and the same sales tax payable account. So the total sum of the tax is summed up into the single account in the voucher. If you have different accounts, you will have different main accounts being displayed here in the voucher, or the tax will be broken into each different account which is linked to the tax code. Okay, so the main account of tax is being considered from this page. From the in the sales tax code, we have linked the ledger posting group. From the ledger posting group, that account is considered. Now another question, from which configuration this accounts receivable account is considered into the voucher? It is the customer account, right? Account only we have accounts receivable account. Okay. So why this accounts receivable account is taken instead of customer? What configuration is behind it? It's a very important configuration. If you miss that configuration, you cannot even do anything in the module. You cannot post even a single entry without that configuration. So it is considered from the posting profile. See, accounts receivable and accounts payable accounts are always considered from the posting profile which we link to the customers or customer groups. See, for all the customers, we have given a single account as accounts receivable account in the posting profile of accounts receivable. Here in the accounts receivable, and the setup, we know we have customer posting profiles. So in the customer posting profiles only, we have linked this account 1,50,000, which is accounts receivable account. So from here only, the main account is being picked into the voucher transactions 1,50,000 account. So how about these two accounts, interest revenue and subscription revenue accounts? From where these two accounts are picked into the voucher? This is simple. From where these two accounts are picked, interest revenue and subscription revenue accounts. Actually, they are picked from the invoice level only. When you created invoice, you have given two accounts here, right? From here only they are picked. Okay, so that's how the combination of all these accounts frames a voucher once you post any document or invoice or a journal. Okay, that would frame this voucher. So you should be very keen, or a finance functional consultant should be clear in understanding from which area the main accounts are being picked and how they are being constructed as an voucher. So in the voucher, from where the main accounts are being picked and what are the configurations behind them. So sometimes in support they would get issues like wrong main accounts are picked, and you might have to understand from where those accounts are being taken into the voucher and why wrong account is being considered in the voucher. Okay. Keep these things in mind. In every module you have posting profile and ledger posting groups, which would link you the main accounts to the subledger modules. Then let's get back to another concept, to create a sales order and apply sales taxes on sales orders. Okay, just go to all sales orders. Create a new sales order. Then site and warehouse. Click on OK. Select item number here. Let's say select this cricket ball. So I can give some quantity, like I'm selling 10 quantity, and each at 200, let's say, suppose total of 2000. And then where can I apply taxes to this particular line? So you can apply taxes here in the line level. In the setup, you can see here item sales tax group is automatically taken. So from where this item sales tax group is automatically populated, from where it is being considered into this order? Any idea how it is defaulted here? We have it is being defaulted into this particular sales order from the item. Yesterday we have linked this particular item sales tax group to this item cricket ball. So automatically when I select this item, I can directly see this item sales tax group being appearing here. So I can select a sales tax group now. So I'll select this CGST 12% or CSGST 12% here. So I can also add one more line to sell another product to the same customer. Let's say suppose I'll select cycle this time. It's loading. So I'll select this one for another product cycle. So I can give some quantity of cycles, like some 4 quantity I'm going to sell, and I'm selling each at, it is showing 1500 as a default price. I'll change it to 2000. Okay, I'm selling each cycle at 2000 to this customer, total of 8000. So on this I'll apply another tax. So for this item sales tax group is not automatically populating here, because for that item we don't have any default item sales tax group linked to it. So I'll change, select this one, and I'll select the sales tax group as something like CGST, SGST 5%, let's say, suppose, and I'll save it. Okay. Now you can check the amount of sales tax calculated at the line level as well as at the header level. So at the line level, we can check it here in the financials for this line, cycles line. Select sales tax here, financials and sales tax. And you can see on 8,000, you have 2.5 and 2.5, CGST 2.5 and SGST 2.5, total of 200 and 200, 400 is calculated. Okay. Then here for this line, again, you can go to financials and look into the tax. And you see on 2000, 6% and 6% is calculated, total of 120 and 120, 12% tax totally, 240 is the total tax calculated. Okay. And on the sales order also, here you can, on the cell, you can see on the header level, you can see the sales tax from here. It will show you both the lines, I mean, both the taxes for each line. Here it is. CGST 2.5, CGST 6%, total tax calculated. And the tax direction, you can see sales tax payable. All right. So you can click on OK here. Then you can go with the process of confirmation, pick and pack and everything. So confirm sales order, then post packing slip and then invoice it. Confirm, okay. I'm sorry. And then we'll just go to pick and pack, go to post packing slip. Current value is all, recommended value is no, I just want all quantity here. So 2 lines, I'll just receive them. So we can see the order is delivered. Then I'll go for invoice and click on invoice. So before that, let's just see the packing slip journal, what it is posted. You can go in and you can see the voucher. And actually do not consider it would just consider the cost of the materials. So inventory delivered and cost of goods sold is being accounted here. Inventory delivered is credited since inventory is going off from the company. Cost of goods delivered is debited. Then I'll go to invoice page, generate invoice. So packing slip quantity, I'm going to invoice it. See, here it is. You can see the order lines here again. So here you can see the option of sales tax in this place in the overview page. Click here. You can see the amount of sales tax calculated. So here you can change the amount if you want to. Total amount of sales tax calculated on this sales order is 640. If you want to change it, increase or decrease it, you always have the chance of doing it here all the time. I think for adjustments, also you can make some adjustments here. You can always make some adjustments here in this page. adjust. Normal amount of origin is 8,000. So on the 8,000, if they say that only on 7,000 tax is being calculated, you can give a adjusted origin amount as 7,000, so that only on 7,000 tax will be calculated. So you can also do that adjustment like this here. 1,000. And here also I'll just give it as 7,000 and apply actual amounts. That's okay. Overwrite calculated sales tax. Click on OK. And again go to sales tax and check it. It's not changing. It should change. Apply actual amounts. That sales tax amount is not changing actually, even though we adjust it. It's okay. Let's keep it simple. So if you want to adjust any amount, actually you can adjust it here in this level, or I think let me go back for line. For line here, update line, I think we don't have anything here. For sales order line, also we don't have anything here. Not actually, we don't have enough options for the at the invoice level for this. I think we only have it here in the sales tax level. You can change the amounts of sales taxes. Now since we have it already, so I'm just going to post this one and let's see how it will get posted or how much tax it will calculate. The total tax amount is like 640. Okay. So it is invoiced. You can go to the invoice journal here and you can select the invoice and look into the voucher, or before that you can also look into the posted sales tax directly. If you go to posted sales tax, it will show you the amount of tax calculated and posted on this order. Totally 4 tax codes, 200, 200, 120, 120, total of 640. Then go back. Here you can also see the voucher where you can clearly identify accounts receivable account is being debited with 10,690 actually. 8,000 for cycles and 2,000 for cricket balls, totally 10,000 there, and taxes for 640. There is another 50 of I think there is another 50 of this charges, applicable automatic charges, which is accounted here. So totally 10,690, out of which 10,000 is the sales revenue, 50 is a subscription revenue, means because of the charge applicable, and here you have the other 640 sales tax payable accounted. The rest all are the inventory related accounts, cost of goods sold and the inventory delivered and invoiced at sale, reversal of the packing slip and the original invoice entry, original inventory entry. These are the original entries. This one 10,690 accounts receivable, out of which credit value of 10,000 is for sales revenue, 50 is for subscription revenue, which is a charge, and sales tax payable is credited for 640. That's all. Now from here also you can see the posted sales tax. It will show you the same 4 lines and 640 amount of tax calculated. Then you can go back. So that's how tax is calculated on sales orders. So you can also work on how this particular uh, process of applying taxes on sales orders and free text invoices. Then I'll just take you to the same page where the tax are, we can see all the taxes that are posted. I'm going to tax page and go to posted sales tax here. So when you see posted sales tax, now you can see lot of transactions posted. So you can differentiate them by voucher. So free text invoice voucher, Then this is a normal voucher, sales order voucher, as you can see here. And this is a purchase order voucher. And here you have this one, vendor invoice journal voucher. So on which there are different taxes calculated, and everything you can see the direction of taxes, sales tax receivable as well as sales tax payable. Suppose if you want to see only the sales tax payables, you can filter it again here. You can see the amount of sales tax payable by filtering it. That's up. And you can see the, if you want to track it by code, suppose you can see the by code how much CGST, I mean CGST 2.5%. Suppose if I would search CGST 6%, CGST 6%, I'll just give the code here and track it. So CGST 6% for this month, I have posted 4 transactions, and this much is the CGST that is accounted. You can do anything literally from here in this page. You can also track it with the nature of the document, like sales orders or purchase orders, or you can also give filter it with the dates from date to date, or you can also filter it with currency if you want to. Now at the end of certain period, we have lot of transactions posted on purchase orders and sales orders where tax is accounted, and other journals where tax is accounted. Tax direction is only of 2 directions, either tax payable or tax receivable, sometimes exemptions. So exemptions will not have any tax calculated, right? So let's keep it aside. So out of the sales tax payable and sales tax receivable, at the end of the period or at the end of a settlement period, what happens is when we run a settlement for the sales tax at the end of the period, the amount of tax that is on the payable side and the receivable side is accounted, or the net amount is calculated. Suppose if it is sales tax payable, right, we are liable to pay it to the authority. It is sales tax receivable which we can receive from the authority. So out of which the total net amount is calculated, and accordingly you might have to pay the authority or you might have to receive from the authority. So I'll just export this file. Let's see if it gets exported. It's good. Export to Excel. Download. Well, it's downloaded as you can see here. Let's open this. It's okay. I'll just enable editing. So here it is, sales tax payable. All of this actual sales tax amount calculated until here. I'll just keep it in another color, yellow. And sales tax receivable, I'll just mark it as red, or I'll just mark it another color like this, blue. Okay. So this is the amount of tax we paid to the vendors, and this is the amount of tax we have collected from the customers. So how much it is? Some 8,140 is the total of sales tax payable. So I'll just write it here, 8,140 is sales tax payable. Okay, total sales tax payable is 8,140. Sales tax receivable, how much amount it is? 4,020. So 4020. I'll just give it in negative number since it is payable. So I'll just give a bracket for this one. This is total sales tax receivable for the month. Now when we sum both of them, we'll see there is a difference amount of 4,120. So I can say it as 4,120 in negative numbers. Sorry. This is the amount, net sales tax. So what it is indicating is you have collected a lot of tax from the customers and you have paid only few tax to your vendors. Okay, which means you are holding some amount of tax which has to be repaid to the tax authority. So after making the net balance, the amount that you have already paid and the amount that you have collected, there is a difference amount of 4,120 which you have to pay to the tax authority. See, you have collected much tax, which is accounted as sales tax payable. You have paid only less tax, which is accounted as sales tax receivable. The different amount is the net sales tax, 4,120 or minus 4,120 here, which you have to pay it to the tax authority. Let's say suppose if the sales tax payable is less amount and sales tax receivable is a big amount, or where you have paid more tax to the vendor in that month of January, let's say, and you have collected less taxes from your customers, then you can file a refund to the authority where there will be a positive amount which indicating that you have paid more to the authority until now for this month, and you can claim a refund from the authority that I have paid more tax, please refund my amount. Or in this case, since you are liable, you have collected more taxes from your customers, so you have to pay this amount to the tax authority. The remaining amount or the net amount of this will be paid to the authority. So this is what happens when a settlement is done, which we are going to do now, the tax settlement for the period of January, and let's see what happens. So the net amount will be evaluated or net sales tax amount will be calculated. So let's see how we can settle the sales taxes. So to settle sales tax, we can go to declarations here. Settle and post sales tax is what we have here. So in the tax module, we have a menu called as declarations, 4 menus, out of which we have one called as declarations. In declarations, we have this option called as settle and post sales tax. Declaration, sales tax, settle and post sales tax. Click on this settle and post sales tax. So for which settlement period you are going to post the tax. So you know settlement periods you have created, right? GST monthly settlements. In GST monthly settlements, from which date to which date? From 1st of January to 31st of January is automatically taken here because we have given monthly settlement periods, right? In this here, you know, we have given monthly 1st January, 1st to 31st, 1st February to 28th, 1st March to 31st March. Here we have created this sales tax settlement periods. So automatically, if you give 1st of January, it will take 31st of January here. So what is the sales tax payment version? Is it original or corrections? Original means when you are running it for the first time, it is the original version. Suppose after making the settlement already, if you have any other corrections or if you make any corrections, you can again run it with the latest corrections version. Second time you can do the settlement. So then it will get the new amount will get adjusted. Okay, for now I'm going to run only the original and for the month of January where we have certain transactions. So I'll click here on OK. It takes a while to generate. So here it is. You can also print it on the screen and you can also run it in the badge app if you want to. I'm just printing it on the screen. So normally these tax settlements are done on periodic basis according to the sales tax settlement periods that you have defined. Either it is monthly or quarterly or yearly, up to the business requirement. Some people also run it bi-monthly, once in 2 months, for every 2 months. So here you can see the sales tax settlement report where you can clearly identify the amount of minus 4,120. It will sum up all the amounts of taxes calculated for each tax code, CGST 2.5%. So total sales tax receivable accounted on this particular code is this much, or so you can see this much, 50. And on CGST 2.5%, sales tax payable calculated is minus 950, means it's on the payable side. And for this code, you can see receivable and payable. And for this code, you can see receivable only, receivable, payable. It will sum up the total amount. On CGST 2.5%, total sales tax receivable, how much ever is there, will be added to 2000. So you can see it here. CGST 2.5%, right? You can use this codes. CGST 2.5%, out of which sales tax payable, suppose if you take, you have three transactions. So total amount of this three is 950. Okay, the same 950 is being showing here. 950 sales tax payable for CGST 2.5% minus 950, since it is in the payable side, and the receivable side it is showing positive amount. And at the end you can see there is minus 4,120, means minus 4,120 of additional payable amount with you, which you have to pay to the authority. The same that we have calculated right here, net sales tax minus 4,120. So that's how it is showing in this report. You can export and print this report if you want to, for reference sake. You can anytime do that anyway. I'm just closing this one. So clear, right, for everyone, this report and how it is showing here. So if you have any confusion in this 950 amount, if you click on this code, it will automatically show you here. So in the sales tax code, you have the option of where is this posted sales tax here. If for every sales tax code you have this inquiry posted sales tax group, if you click here, it will show you the total sales tax posted for this code on the receivable and payable only for this code. That's all. Just go back, and this is the report, and I'll just close this report. Now what happens is you can check that the settlement is done. So what happens at the time of settlement, which entry will get posted, we'll see now. So normally you can check it here in the sales tax payments. So in the inquiries and reports, you have this option inquiry called as sales tax payments. Here, if you click on sales tax payments, you see that for 31st of January there is a payment made, and it automatically took the voucher from the parameters page, from the general ledger parameters. It takes it here, and starting from 1st January 2020 to 31st January 2022, for this period you have made some tax settlement, which is a original where version, and you can see the voucher here in this one. See what happened here. Sales tax payable account is debited, sales tax receivable account is credited. This one, the sales tax payable 8,140, sales tax receivable 4,020 is entirely getting reversed here. You can see they both are entirely getting reversed here, and the accounts payable account is credited with 4,120. So why this accounts payable account is credited, and from where this accounts payable account is being considered, we'll see now. Because you can clearly identify that the sales tax payable is reversed, sales tax receivable accounts are reversed completely, and the net amount is transferred to the accounts payable account. Either it is a positive amount, or if it is a negative amount, both of them will be transferred to the same account, accounts payable account. So this accounts payable account is being considered from the sales tax authority vendor. So we have given a vendor, linked a vendor to the sales tax authority, right? Suppose I'll show you in the tax module, in that sales tax authority. So here itself in the sales tax authorities, we have linked a vendor. This vendor number 5. You can see it. So that account, so for our, the account behind this account, accounts payable account is considered. So what happens is for this vendor now a invoice is created, which is indicating that you have to pay 4,120 to the authority vendor. So that you can check in the vendor list also. I'll just click on this vendor. In the vendor transactions, now it will show a pending invoice which you have to pay. Once this vendor opens, I'll show you that. So here it is. Go to vendor and transactions. You can see transactions. There should be only one transaction for this vendor. And see this transaction. Name is sales tax payment. And it is showing 4,120, or the balance that you have to pay on this is 4,120, indicating you have to pay this vendor 4,120. Which vendor it is? Sales tax authority vendor. So now you can generate a check for the payment of this 4,120 and settle that amount to the vendor for that period of January. That is how it is. See, we have total of sales tax receivable and sales tax payable at the end of a particular period. Let's say for the month of January. Sales tax receivable means the amount of tax that we have paid to the vendors until now on the purchase side. And sales tax payable means the amount of tax that we have collected from the customers on the accounts receivable side. So when we net the amount, we have collected much tax from the customers compared to the tax that we paid to the vendor. So how much extra we have collected is 4,120 is the extra tax that we have collected from the customers, which we have to pay to the tax authority. The extra amount that we have collected, we have to pay to the tax authority, right? So for that, this net amount will be evaluated and it will be created as an invoice for the vendor that is linked in the tax authority, sales tax authority in the tax page. So when we run the settle and post sales tax process, so what happens is it will automatically calculate this net amount of tax and it will generate an invoice. So you can see this one in the sales tax payments. Here you can see this invoice is created. You can see the voucher where both the sales tax payable account and receivable account are getting reversed. Okay, and the net amount whatever is there and the net amount is being accounted to the accounts payable account. That credit amount whatever is there, when both of them will get reversed, here this credit amount of minus 4,120 is credited to the accounts payable account. So this accounts payable account is considered from the vendor that is linked in the sales tax authority. So for that vendor, automatically an invoice is created. When an invoice is created means you have to pay the amount to the vendor and you can settle the amount. So that's all. If you settle the amount, which it explains like you have settled the tax amount pending for that particular period of January. If you do not select the vendor account, suppose let's say if you do not select the vendor account here in the authority, there is an option you can remove the vendor account also. Still you can make a settlement. Then what happens is in the place of accounts payable account, which is considered here, it will consider another account. So that account is there in the ledger posting groups. We have given that account already. It's of no use, but if you do not select vendor, it will select this account, settlement account. This is also a liability account, you know. We have linked a liability account here, which is the net tax account. So this account will be considered in the voucher here instead of accounts payable account. If you do not link the vendor in the authority and if you use it normally without linking the vendor, then this account from the ledger posting group settlement account will be selected in the voucher here. Okay, do remember that. That's all. Then let's go and I'll give me a second. Then I'll just make an adjustment or post another free text invoice and then we'll make an adjustment settlement once again. So I'll just go to all free text invoices quickly. Click on new. Select a customer account. Then select a main account. 1,000 and sales tax group I'll select as this 5%. Okay, total tax calculated should be 500. Let's see. So it is 500 here. Total tax amount 250 and 250. So it is saying credit limit is exceeding for this customer. So we have enabled the credit limit parameters, I guess. So there is no credit limit for this customer. Let's change the customer account then. We'll change it to Walmart. Okay. So then the same amount of tax again. Yes, it is 500 tax calculated. Sales tax payable 500. I'll post this one. See, I have already made a settlement for this month of January in the sales tax settlements. Later, I got to understand that I have forgot one more transaction which has to be posted. So I posted it later, and for now, I have to make some adjustments in the sales tax that I have already done. So let's see how we can make that adjustment transaction. So for that, again, we are going to go to this settle and post sales tax option here. Okay, select the same month of January from 1st January to 31st, and select the latest corrections, not the original version. Select the payment version as latest correction, since we have made some corrections for the in the tax for the month of January. Okay, then after settlement, since we have made, right, so we are selecting the latest corrections one. So I'll click on OK, and I'll run the screen again. Let's see what happens. So there is 500 on the payable side. Here it is. So you can see there is only, you can clearly see that there is only these two transactions considered, are the 250 transaction that you have just made on the free text invoice are considered. Total of 500 tax payable is being accounted. So let's see what happened in the sales tax payable. So here, if you go to this one, inquiries and reports, and the sales tax payments here in the tax module, this one, you can see there is another voucher for latest corrections. If you open this voucher, you can see sales tax payable account is reversed with 500, and that amount of liability is transferred to accounts payable account or to the vendor. Then if you go to the same vendor in the all vendors page, accounts payable all vendors, we have that vendor, right, linked to the authority. So this one, GST authority vendor, go to transactions. Now you see there is another 500 invoice also created for minus 500 amount. Totally you have to pay 4,620, 4,120 plus 500, two invoices. So since you have collected sales tax payable for another 500, which we adjusted as latest corrections and made a settlement, now you are liable to pay that amount also to the authority, right? So that amount, for that amount also, there is another invoice created here. So that's how. Now you can see the total sales tax settlements you have done are two. Both are for month of January only. One is original and another one is latest corrections. If you do it for February, March, and everything will be following here. You can see them here in this page itself. So that is how the the corrections work, the sales tax settlement process work. So that would be all for today.